Right, guys, we're up to Acts chapter 11, and it's my turn, which I'm pretty excited about. And we're following on from the story that we heard about in Acts 10, where Peter was sharing the gospel with someone who wasn't even a Jew because God had told him to. And the thing is, in Acts chapter 11, the other apostles have heard about this, the other believers have heard about this, and they're like, Peter, what are you doing? Why are you sharing the gospel with people who aren't even Jews? What is this about? So Peter explains it to them. Now, if I was the writer of Acts, I would have just said, and then Peter explained it to them. But what actually happens here is we get it all written out for us again. It tells us, Peter tells them, and we get to see exactly what he said. All about the dream that he had, all about what happened, all about why he felt it was right to share the gospel with Cornelius and all of his friends and family. And we get it all spelled out all over again. It feels a little bit like, you know, when you're watching a TV program and it's like, previously on this program, and it gives you that little rerun of what you might have missed. It feels a little bit like that, and I'm like, it's okay, I read it. And there's a few things in the book of Acts that do that, where the same stories keep coming up and up again. And I think that's because they're really, really important moments in how the Christian faith developed. Imagine if they'd never got to the point where they would tell people who weren't already Jews about Jesus. Most people who are Christians today wouldn't be Christians. It's a really important point of when everything shifted in the way people went about sharing the gospel. So it's really important. So it tells us about it a few times. So after this previously moment, it then goes on to talk about the church in Antioch. So basically, after the stoning of Stephen, Christians are kind of run away all over the place because being a Christian was dangerous. People wanted to kill you for it. But you would expect in that moment that people would be running away to hide and just kind of forgetting about the Jesus thing because it was a bit dangerous. But actually, they're sharing the gospel wherever they go. And later on, it tells us that there is a famine. There's quite a lot packed into this chapter. It says that a prophet said that there was going to be a famine, and it tells us about how the Christians responded to that. And one thing that I want us to pull out of all of this chapter is that it is really clear that as Christians we're meant to share what we've got. So we see Peter sharing what he knows. When he's challenged on why he's done what he's done, he doesn't just say, yeah, well, I think it's all right, so no. He explains exactly what happened. He explains what he felt God called him to do. And he also explains what happened next. You see, he tells them that as he began to speak, the Holy Spirit came on them, on those non-Jews, as it had come on the apostles in the beginning. He's basically saying, like, who are we to argue with what God is doing? We can see that God is at work in these people through his Holy Spirit. So we can't say that that's wrong. We can't deny that. And we need to run with that. It's clearly what Jesus wants to be doing. And then we see Christians who are scared, who are worried that they could get killed for their faith, just cracking on with sharing it, sharing the hope that they have in Jesus. And right at the end of the chapter, we see that in response to that prophecy about famine, the Christians respond by sharing everything they have. It says, the disciples, as each one was able, decided to provide help for the brothers and sisters living in Judea. This they did, sending their gifts to the elders by Barnabas and Saul. So share what you know, share what God is doing in your life, share what God has revealed to you, share the dreams and the visions he has given you, share the things you have seen him do in your life, the things he's revealed to you, and the things that you're reading in the Bible, like just sharing, isn't it exciting that God says this? Share the gospel, share the good news, share the hope that you have in Jesus with other people. It's there for sharing. And share what you've got, whether that's your money, your stuff, your time, whether that's your gifts, whether it's in serving other people. Share what you've got. That's what the early Christians did. And I think we have pretty exciting faith adventures when we do that.